Hi everybody, it's Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio. Today I'm working on the vintage 4-patch quilt and I want to show you how I put that together and what I'm doing for the quilting. Here's the quilt on the machine. This quilt is about 48 by 53 or 54 inches. I can't remember exactly. And I went ahead and left the 4 patches in their strips and added sashing between them. So that sashing is a 2-inch wide sashing. The blocks are 4 inches wide, so everything kind of goes together as far as the dimensions go. And then I added a 2-inch inner border and then a 4-inch outer border. I've already quilted the outer border and you really can't see the quilting design very well in this because the fabric is really busy with all of these polka dots and stripes. What I decided to do was to avoid, I guess I should say, is doing anything that was going to run along these stripes. Since these stripes are diagonal, anything that I did with a diagonal design had the potential to look off, because if it isn't running exactly along the pattern here, you know, one or the other is going to look off. It's going to look crooked. So another option would have been to do piano keys, and I've done piano keys a couple of times recently and really didn't want to do those again. So I came up with a design that kind of looks like cathedral windows, and I'll show you that from the back of the quilt because that will show better. And once I get this all, the rest of the quilt quilted, then I will show you that. Now my plan for the 4 patches, I'm just going to do crosshatch in here just because it's a traditional design. And then for the outer or the inner borders and for the sashing, I'm going to do this design here. This is a little 3-petal flower and a leaf, and I think it looks cute in there, so I'm just going to do that. I'm going to keep this quilt pretty simple, and I'm hoping to get this done pretty quickly. I want to finish it tonight. Hopefully I can do that. It's about 7, it's a little after 7 o'clock in the evening, and I want to get this video up tomorrow. And I'm trying to avoid a shadow here, so let me see if that will help. But I want to get this video up on Tuesday, so I'm trying, it's Monday at 7, so I'm trying to get this done. It's been kind of a busy weekend and I didn't get as much quilting done. There, look at that. Now you can see that border a little better. Here you can see the flower I quilted in there, and then where they come together, it kind of looks like a cathedral window. But I will show you a little bit more of that in detail when I get it turned to the back side. But there's that, and then here is the inner border. So I think that looks cute. It's a little kind of a refreshing look. It's not traditional, but I like it. So I'm going to mount this camera on my tripod and show you some of the quilting. Okay, to do the sashing, this sashing goes both directions. It's non-directional. The flowers and the leaves flip every other one, so it doesn't matter how I quilt this as far as quilting one this from left to right, the other one right to left. It's going to look the same no matter what I do. So this one here started with a leaf in the one that's up above it, which is actually the outer border. So I'm going to start this one with a flower, and I think that's the only thing I'm going to do different, is to start one with a leaf, the next one with a flower, and then other than that, I'm not going to do anything different. So let's start with a flower, make a hook, and then 3 petals, and then I'm going to come down with a stem and quilt a leaf. And now I want to do the hook but in the other direction, so I'm going to come down, hook, 3 petals and then the leaf, and then reverse it. And then I'm just going to keep going all the way down this row, and then I'll do the next one. So I'm going to adjust the camera, put it in a different location, and then maybe you can see the whole thing being quilted. Okay, I have sashing done in 2 rows, so I'm going to go ahead and do crosshatch in the 2 rows of blocks here. And I'm back on automated or stitch regulated mode. And I'm just going to go all the way across. And this piecing is not perfect on here. I've got a lot of overlapping of the pieces, and these 2 are completely disconnected, so I just have to use my judgment on how these need to be quilted. And go back the other way, and this should be my last pass. Okay. That looks pretty good. Now I'll bring the camera over here so you can get a better look at what this looks like. Okay, so we have the outer border, the inner border, and then come across here, and we have strange lighting. There we go. Okay, here's the crosshatch in the piece blocks up here. And what I mean by these aren't pieced perfectly, if you look here, See how these two do not meet up? So you have to kind of decide where you want to cross your lines of stitching. And same thing up here. And so it's kind of hit or miss as to what you do with that. You can see in these black pieces here how they are overlapping, and then the two greens don't touch at all. So that's how I took care of that. Sometimes you just have to choose how you do this, because there just isn't a really good way to do this without it. I mean, you can't do it perfectly because the piecing isn't perfect. So that's how I dealt with that. And then there's one of the inner borders, and here's the other one. So I'm going to go ahead and do the cross hatch in here, and then I'll come down and do it in here, and then I'll just alternate doing cross hatching and this little flower and leaf motif as I go down the quilt. And I have, I think, 9 rows of blocks, so it'll take me a while, but hopefully I will get this done tonight and I can show you the finished quilt. Here's the finished quilt. I have it pinned up on my design wall, and I think it turned out pretty well. And I'll get the camera closer so that you can see a few more details. You can see the cross hatching really well in the 4-patch blocks, and I'll zoom in so you can see the quilting in the sashing, and that is the same as the quilting in the inner border, which is down here, and then there is the outer border. And I'll turn up the corner of the quilt so you can see the back of that, so you can see that quilting a little bit better. There, I think you can see that a little bit better. That's what the back side of the quilt looks like. And I think maybe you can see what I mean by this here kind of looking like a cathedral windows design, the way it comes together here. Like here is one block or one section, it's the 4-inch sections, how it was quilted, but when you combine those together you get that look. Now it might look more like a cathedral windows if there was a line of stitching down here, but I chose not to put that in. So it still needs to be bound, but overall I'm pretty happy with this one. This will make another nice lap quilt. I hope you enjoyed this video on the vintage 4-patch quilt, and I hope you got some new ideas for quilting that you can do in your own quilt. So if you like this video, I hope you will give it a like. Don't forget to click the subscribe button if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so you'll be notified when my next video comes up. And don't forget to share it with your quilting friends. And in the meantime, I hope you're all staying safe and staying healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links. And to keep up with my latest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.